I personally think that they should give them a platform. Now, I'm cool with differences of opinions, and I'm not shitting on nobody that I feel like they shouldn't be platformed, but I do feel like it's a discussion that we need to have. Although I do see why some people wouldn't want these type of people to be platformed, I think that it's important that we bring this darkness into the light, because this has been allowed to fester in the darkness for a long, long time. The reason why you're worried about platforming these people is that they can recruit. They're not going to be able to recruit anybody that wasn't already thinking about going there and finding a home anyway. Like, the time of like not platforming them is gone. Like, you could have said that in the 90s, right? Where like you didn't want them to find an umbrella to all group up and get under, when they kind of stayed sequestered into their own little holes, into their own areas, and it was hard for them to network and find like a home base. Those days are gone. If I had to like gauge, I would just give a rough estimate of like 40% of MAGA is just like downright racist and just out for the hatred and just over there for the hatred. I would say like 40%. It could be less. It could be more. I don't know, but I would like to know. And I think if Jubilee does more like this, then we'll be able to see for sure. That's my reasoning for why we should platform them. Platform them more. Platform them as much as we can, so that people can see how ridiculous this sounds. Because a lot of Trump's voters were just misinformed voters. They were we don't know how many. I'm not claiming to say it was half or it was 30% or 20. I don't know how many, but I can't believe that all of them was this guy. Every single one of them couldn't be this guy. Right? So there had to be some that were just misinformed, that just didn't really know much about how the government works. Were kind of brainwashed by social media and getting their news from places like X, where the narrative was controlled and the truth was suppressed by Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? So if we showed them how ridiculous, like this is, if we showed them like, look, guys, this is what you sided with. Listen to how ridiculous this sounds. Bring it to the light. Anybody with two neurons left to rub together would watch this and be like, okay, these guys are stupid, and I don't want to be associated with this. So that's my reasoning for why I'm listening to this live right now, and why I think we should not only give them a platform, but broadcast it, put it everywhere. Like, look, this is what the hell they think. This is how they think. This is what they want the country to look like. This guy is a fascist. He wants an autocracy. Do you want an autocracy? Well, that's what you voted for, and this is why. So if you don't want an autocracy, help us stop it. But there are people that watch this and was like, yeah, they sound kind of dumb. Like, it's kind of like when you have like something in your head and then you say it out loud to a group of people and you're like, that kind of sounded better in my head. When they bring this type to the light, some of them are just too dumb to realize that they're dumb, right? Like, some of them are just too dumb to ever be aware of it. They're not self-aware enough to know that they're incompetent. And that's okay. That's not the people that we're looking to reach. But there are people that will reach that self-awareness and be like, well, on second thought, this actually sounds kind of dumb when it's pitted against somebody that's actually intelligent. But I just wanted to like point out too, like how these guys talk to the air a lot and people give them credit for being smart. I think Mehdi Hasan does a good job at breaking it down and proving that they're actually not. But I want to add some more to it, some more commentary to it, just to show that like just because they speak well does not mean that they're intelligent or they're right. And I think so many times in my life, based on my experience, I've seen people concede points just because of the way and the way the person was speaking and how they looked. And I would stop every time and be like, whoa, like, no, you're right. This person is wrong and they're dumb. Just because they have a wide vocabulary and they look a certain way doesn't mean that they're right. They're wrong, and we need to address why they're wrong, like right here, right now. And so for so long, like these guys that look like this, look exactly like this, get away with saying the most moronic stuff and then tying it to something hateful and getting a round of applause or a pat on the back like they just said something profound. That was dumb. It really hits for me because for so long, like I've seen people in authoritative positions talk down to people that look like me or that's in the same position as me and be dead ass wrong. And then people can see like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, 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 no. Just because that person got a badge or just because he look a certain, that he's wrong. He's wrong and he's dumb. And we got to tell him that he's dumb so that he can get educated. But they've been told that, right? Like they've been conditioned from young and it's been passed down from generation to generation to always only blame people that don't look like them. Never blame the corporations, never blame the CEOs, never blame the legislations or the politicians. Always blame people that don't look like you. They've been taught that. They heard their parents say it. They heard their neighbors say it. They heard their teachers say it in some cases. So this is like how they're conditioned from very young ages to think. When everybody knows that the problem is the elite, the billionaires, the corporations, these monopolies, that they're the ones that are oppressing the middle class and funneling money from the bottom to the top. They don't want to see that, and it's right there in their face. All they want to do is place blame on people that don't look like them, or even in some cases, people that look like them but may not vote in the same way that they vote, or may be more tolerant because they consider them race traders. The immigrants are not the enemy. The black people are not the enemy, but it's actually the wealthy, and that we need to raise the floor a little bit to be in proportion with where the ceiling is. And if I spoke a little too fast, what I mean is there should be safety nets in place to leave people from falling too far behind when the ceiling is way up here and the richest man in the world has $200, $300, $400 billion, $500 billion. If $500 billion is the ceiling, then there's no way that people should be falling by the wayside. If they would rather import employees, I don't understand. What are you mad at Mehdi Hasan for? Because it is true. Mehdi Hasan didn't just say, he didn't even say it, but it is true. I agree with Vivek Ramaswamy when he said it. I was like, that is true. It is kind of true, though. You got to admit it's true. When Elon Musk said it, I don't even like Elon Musk, but when he said it, I was like, he not wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I hate that I'm agreeing with Elon Musk, but he not wrong, though. You know what I'm saying? So when they said like, yeah, we need H-1B visas because we got to bring people over here that know how to do these high paying jobs because we can't train. Basically, they were saying like, we can't train the rednecks in the rural areas. We can't train them how to code. They just not going to get it. And so here we are. He melting down. They hate that when you say that, but it's the truth.
So why don't you guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words?
Okay,
so why do we have to bring
the freedom of thousands of those visas. Thousands right now because they don't want to hire Connor.